Recording in progress. What?
That's a good thing. You want that.
I know, but it's never said that before. Well, I always have my volume down. That's why it does. Like I never. That's why I'm always like, what? I can't hear you. I can't. What?
We've recorded like how many of these shows, and you're just like, well, I'll just assume it's recorded.
Well, no, like it just. I'm like, what?
Yeah, you said that last time. I think that you said that like the episode we did with Scardouche. I think you were just kind of like, huh? But you were pretty knocked about in the face with Novocaine for that one, and I have to say again, this time on camera, that you were like a total trooper.
I was numb up to my eyelids, like literally. I could not feel the tops of my eyelids.
What did they go in and do?
Oh, I just have 8 teeth every time I go in there.
I gotta have a dancing holiday tooth there in the background. I don't ask questions. I just stuff happens. So, okay. So the last time we caught up with the continuing further adventures of Jen,
Yeah.
she had all this bleh, and then this time there's like a bruise or something. What is happening?
When I do my daughter's hair, no,
She
ignore my
punches
husband.
you or what?
No, okay. So the rubber bands, like I have to like put it in my teeth to stretch it because they're so
Oh,
tiny.
for the hair?
Yeah, and then it's like a slingshot. It like fucking fires, like it comes off my finger and fires back into my lip or my face. So yeah, I've got this great. I had to put makeup on. It's like a big like a pinky sized bruise right there.
From now
Had a
on,
fat.
we just literally have to have like a hidden camera, so that way when we go and we like re-edit the opening theme like section again for like the season 2 for next year, we can just have this shot of you just being like for like no reason. People, we're not gonna even explain it to people. We'll just be like, stuff happens to Jen.
Though I'm a little bit angry and I kind of cuss a little bit when it happens.
Can you be angrier than Alex, which is she's just writing her name and then all of a sudden she's like, okay. Because I was like, can I just keep that little section of you getting pissed off and saying fuck it for a theme? And she was like, okay. I'm like, yes. So that's just, once you get to that point, like that's how you got to start the show. So,
Yeah, exactly.
So you had told me, I'm like, all right, we'll just start with this, that you said you had a weird doctor visit, which for weird for you must be just like crazy weird.
So, I mean, everybody knows the pandemic is going on and nurses are completely burnt out and
right.
It's crazy. So I had a doctor that I hadn't seen yet. And I went in there. So the nurse sits down and she's totally flat affect, like no smile, like she's got the mask on and everything. You can just tell her eyes are dead inside, right? Like there's no
like, let's clarify that. Are we talking like burned out or like Nurse Ratched?
Like burned out, not like Nurse Ratched, like burned out, like just
okay.
no expression to anything I'm saying to her. And so she starts asking my intake questions and I'm answering them. And we get to the point where she's like, so do you have a pet? And I was like, yeah, I have a dog. What type or what kind? I said, German Shepherd. Where from? I was like, I don't know, it was a rescue. And so like she keeps like asking me, like there's like 4 more questions or so that happen here. And I keep answering them about my dog. And I'm starting here to like thinking, why are they so interested in my pet? What I'm here from, like, this is not an allergic reaction thing. Like, why do they keep asking me these weird questions about my pet? Like questions you would not ask about a pet. Right. So finally I said, are we still talking about me? Are we still talking about my pet? Or are we talking about me? And she goes, oh no, we're talking about you, not your pet. And I was like, he goes, when you asked me if I where from, were you asking about where the dog was from, or were you asking where I'm from? And she goes, no, I was asking where you were from. My answer to her was, I don't know, was a rescue.
She was like, oh, you poor thing.
Even like she didn't even look up from her computer. She paused for a second and then kept typing. And I was like, I'm not a rescue. I've lived here my entire life. I said, what did you think I meant by I'm a rescue? And she goes, I don't know. I thought maybe you were a refugee. Look at me. Do I look like a refugee? Maybe you were a refugee.
My
You
God.
were a refugee, or maybe you were adopted. And I'm like, I'm dying inside. And I'm like, no, I grew up in a 2-parent household with
She must have just gotten to that routine of bulldozing her way through those like get to know you questions and then just not even realize what she was saying after a couple minutes. And then all of a sudden you're just like, hold on.
I'm a nurse, and I would be like, what do you mean by arrest? You know, like, I did not come from the Humane Society, I promise.
Um, so I was thinking about this when we were talking about this the other day about, weird doctor dentist stories. And so I remember when I was, oh man, not when I had my teeth pulled, but when I had to get braces, but they had to make a mold in my mouth. And they had to do that really disgusting thing with the two platelets. And they pour the goop in, and then they give you like a straw to breathe out of. It's so horrible. But
You like, you're like, it's all in the back of your throat, and you're like,
and for whatever reason, like the bottom one went in pretty easy. I guess because I have an overbite, so my bottom my jaw was easier, and maybe I knocked off. Maybe they gave me Novocaine. I don't remember. But the top one, they had to like do it a couple times, and it wouldn't set right. I don't know if it's because I had the teeth pulled, but they kind of put the straw in to help me breathe. They gave me some water, and then like the dentist left the room. He's like, well, we have to let this set, and we'll come back and we'll take it out in like 15, 20 minutes. And when you're a kid, that is like an endless amount of time. You're like, don't go. And then the I guess I just called them dental assistants were in there, and they probably saw me, and I had that look of like just completely out of it on meds, like, but I could hear everything, and a little bit of the putty or whatever it is kind of started trickling down my throat. And at first I was like, I had a little bit of water in my mouth when they gave me the water, and I just kind of swallowed it, but it was really nasty. And I remember going like, oh. And then they started talking about, this was like a Monday or something, and they started talking about their dates from the weekend. And then they both kind of like looked over at me, and they were like, and I was like that. And then it got really nasty about what they did on their dates, and they were just comparing things. And I was like in and out of consciousness, but just waking up to hear things just like, she said like, and I had never done that before on a Ferris wheel. And I was like trying to get their attention, like, this is like setting, it's getting hard on the top part of my mouth. And the one girl was just like, you should try it on a water tower. And I was like, and then the thing that broke the camel's back was one girl was like, Denise, you're always complaining. Just take a shot in the mouth. I mean, he's going to get you jewelry. And then all of a sudden I was like, like that. And then the one girl turned to the other from across the room, and they have the surgical masks on, right? And she goes, I told you it doesn't taste that bad. And all of a sudden I was like, she's like, work on those gag reflexes. And I'm like, and they were like, oh my God. And they finally came over, and they were like prying the thing out. And the one lady had like her foot like on the chair, trying to get it dislodged from my mouth. And then later they were like, do you think you heard anything? Like, no, I think we're fine.
Oh, man, like, how did you not vomit? Like, I totally
But
would have.
when you're like, I don't know how old I was, 12 or 13, and that's like a first experience thing, you don't have anything to compare it to. But I just thought it was horrible. I was like doing these gagging sounds, and she's like, you got to work on your gag reflexes, Denise. Come on. And I'm like, And then she's gonna like put her foot on the chair and pry it out of me. Oh God. Now, have you had any other medical or dental weird situations?
Recently, I got I don't know, I had an OBGYN once when I was 24 scold me for answering some of her questions about adult issues that I was an adult and could make my own decisions about. And I'm like, not sure where this is going, but yeah, she basically told me I was an awful person for, I don't even know. It wasn't even anything like sexual. Like it was, I'm like, again, maybe that was a time where I was answering questions to something different than what I thought I was answering. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. No doctor's appointments recently. I mean, my dentist, I love my dentist. I tell her all the time, if I have to go anywhere to be tortured, I want to go there to be tortured because they are hysterical. I love them there.
I remember this was not that long ago. I went some. It's so horrible. I'm like, why does this happen? Not to me, but near me. And I went for a dental appointment, and some mom was there with like 3 kids, and that was like her first appointment, and she had to fill out, I think it was like insurance paperwork or something. And then she got a phone call, and so she's doing this thing, and she's like trying to hold a kid, and 2 other ones are running around. And then she set the papers down, and then she's like, "Oh my God, did that really happen?" And then she comes, and then I'm sitting there just like drinking a little cup of water, and then I did a total spit take because I was like, I look over, and the little girl had like taken the pages. This is so horrible. She had taken the pages, and then she was standing, and then the next thing I know, she turned around and she's walking up to her mom, and her like white tank top of her shirt was all bloody. And she was like, "Mommy, I'm bleeding, but I tried to write my name." And the blood, and she had gotten paper cuts on like 4 of her fingers, and they were so deep, blood was just splurting, and it was all over. And then it was like all over the pages. And I remember the dental assistant came around the corner, and she was like munching on the granola bar. She came around the corner, and was like, "Jesus Christ!" And she was like, "Lady, your kids." And lady was like, "Oh, I gotta call you back." And then it was just, I'm just sitting there like, my appointment's going to be delayed. I can foresee this.
Ah,
Yes, yes. I really hope there wasn't a hidden camera in there, even for security, because I mean, you have a young daughter, it's like
yeah.
30 seconds you could turn around, and then it's like no matter where you are, you're at the store, you're anything, and it's just little hands grabbing things off racks and stuff.
Yeah. Oddly enough, I say this and I sound awful when I say it. I feel like I don't know. She's so well behaved that I don't really have to worry about that. But the one time there was one time where I was with somebody and I thought she was watching my daughter and she thought I was watching my daughter, and it was like a split like 10 seconds. Like we're like, where's she at? And all we did was just go to the next aisle, and she was just running up and down the next aisle like all happy as can be, just running at Home Depot where she could have grabbed like, you know, dangerous stuff. But no, she just wanted to run around. She was just happy as can be running around.
The only real danger I foresaw when my daughter was younger was if there was dangerous stuff next to toys. If it was dangerous stuff not around toys, then it's pretty much okay because they're not interested. They're in their own little world. But oh my God, if there was ever an area of like a store that had like a random end of an aisle with toys and then like, I don't know, buzz saws next to it or something, you're like, ah. I thought about this other topic because just went to the mall last weekend and there was a lot of trying on of clothes, and I was overhearing people talk about situations. So have you ever had what I would call a fitting room disaster or weird thing happen to you when you were either in the fitting room, trying on clothes, or outside waiting to try on something?
No, but when my daughter was younger, in order to not spend, this is pre-pandemic, in order to not spend money, she thought it would be really fun, or I had to go try on clothes. So she wanted to try on clothes. Like she's 2, 3. She wants to try on clothes. So I'd let her pick out a bunch of outfits. We put them on her. She would like model them in the fitting room and do her little poses and everything. And I would take pictures and then we'd put them all back and go home. That was our like afternoon outing. It was great. I didn't have to spend any money. Made her happy. But no.
When I first moved to California, I remember, man, I really need to get some shorts or whatever. Like, it's just crazy hot here most of the year. So I remember going, I don't even know where it was, some mall, I don't remember. And I remember waiting in line, and this family was there, and I think they had 3 kids, and they were all like under 10. And the parents could not control them, and they did not yell, they did not raise their voice, they did not even bother. The kids were just going around ripping clothes off the racks, and then they would go, and then like, you know, the cashiers are helping people to check out. It's one of those stores where it's not like lanes, it's just like each department has their own checkout area, like a, I don't know, Macy's or JCPenney or something. And I just remember the cashier like finishing with a customer and being like, you cannot do that, young lady. You cannot do that. And the girl, I guess she had like half of a top on, and then she had like some crazy like older woman giant bra like the other way around her neck. And then she had her pants pulled down, and it was like something was about to happen that should have happened in the bathroom. And she was just kind of like standing on the edge of a table going like this and like shaking her butt. And her mom was like 50 feet away on a phone, like just browsing through something. And the dad was like 50 feet in the other direction on his phone, just browsing, just, and then the little boy was kicking the leg of the table. So the girl had all these like grown-up clothes on, and she was like half naked, and she looked like she was about to poop off the corner of the table, and the boy was kicking the table. So it looked like the girl was like dancing, and I'm like, oh, is she dancing? I'm like, oh my God, she's about to fall. And the cashier was just like, you gotta, where's your mom? And the mom was like, Candace, you're not at home. Pull your pants up. She's like, okay, I'll just pee my pants. All right, Candace, we'll just deal with that later. So her mom was just going to let her pee her pants. And then the lady was like, we do have fitting rooms. And then literally the woman was like, I don't have time for that. If she tries them on and she likes them, we'll just buy them. And she had one of those black American Express cards. And she literally went, and this is where I got an idea for it for a short film I did a few years ago, but she literally just went like this and just threw it onto the table. And she's like, whatever they want, however many they want. And she's like, and please do not interfere with my parenting. Thank you. And then I turned around, and the boy, and I just had like 3 pairs of shorts. I'm like, do I even ask for the key for the fitting room, or did I just slowly like set everything down and just like cut my loss? Like, book it and like get out of there. But the little boy, I turned around, and all of a sudden I just saw out of the corner of my eye, just like, I'm like, oh, is he hiding behind that pole? And then I was like, I just saw this golden arc of pee come from behind the pole, and he just started peeing on these dresses. And I was like, I can wait. I'll just, you know, and it's one thing if you're like a single parent and you've got 3 kids, and sometimes you just get that important call from the school or some organization, and you've got to take the call right then because it's business hours. It's, you know, I mean, I've been through that where it's like, oh my God, thank you for calling me back. Oh my God, I didn't think you were going to call me. And you turn around, and with 1 kid, that's tough. And 3, it's impossible. But you've got 2 parents, and then you're both on phones, and it's a weekend, and you're just walking away, and the kids are ripping off their clothes and peeing on things. You're a horrible parent.
Yeah.
I mean, what would you do if you were in a situation like that?
Well, honestly, because we've tried so hard to have more kids and can't, I'd probably be so pissed off. I'd probably just turn around and walk away, because if not, I'd go to jail.
I mean, I couldn't believe she literally just said to the girl, you know, do whatever you're gonna do, and we'll deal with it when we get home. Basically, giving the girl permission to pee her pants. Like, that's fine. We'll just buy clothes, and you can just throw away the old clothes. And
Okay. I worked at Home Depot for a while, a long time ago. And we actually had somebody come to the counter and ask if we sold gravestones.
he's like,
They,
because I'm going to kill someone in aisle 4.
they said their parents had just died. And then, but no, because then like I walked into the bathroom later and 3 of them were in the same stall. Yeah, I walked right back out. I'm like, oh, they must be grieving pretty bad if they want a gravestone for their dead parents.
Yeah, that's some pretty serious grief there.
1 guy, 2 girls. Yeah, it was in the women's bathroom.
So let me ask you this as a kind of a positive change of subject. When was the last time you were on a train? Not a crazy train like Ozzy Osbourne, but actual physical train.
The valley, train in the valley. It's probably been since she was around 2, so about 4 years ago, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
When was the last time you went on a long train ride trip, like out of state or to another, like?
I don't think I've ever been on a long one.
Did you, when you were in, I think like elementary school or middle school, did you guys ever go to Hale Farm and Village where they recreate the frontier town?
Yeah.
Did you ride the train there?
I don't remember riding a train there.
Might have been shut down because I had a window close on my arm, and it's still like this scar kind of I have like right here. And they told us to put our arms in, and it's, oh, well, the windows aren't closing, so I'll just keep my arm outside. I don't know how old I was, but it came down to my arm, and they were like, kid, we told you. And I was just like, I'm losing circulation. It was bad, but I had a good time. But that was an experience with trains. But yeah, I've taken some long distance train rides. Like I took one, I think from LA to Santa Barbara, and I think I took one up to San Francisco, where you can kind of sleep on the train at night.
Oh, okay.
And then like you get there in the morning. It depends on what kind of thing you want. Like if you want like the scenic daytime route, that's kind of cool because it goes right by the ocean and you can see the ocean and the mountains. Or the nighttime where it's just like, I don't want to feel anything. You just get in your little cabin and you knock out. Or if you want to dream that you're going to Hogwarts, that's fine too.
I actually have been, now that I think about it, I was in Italy, and one of the, it was weird because like you got on the train and they didn't always come through the cabin to check to see if you had a ticket or not. And there was a person in our group that was like, I'm just going to get on the train and take my chances. I'm like, okay, that sounds like a bad idea to me, but and they did. They came through and checked the tickets, and the person had to pay I think they had to pay a fine. I don't remember what happened, but we went from I don't know, was it Venice? No, not Venice. Florence. We went from Florence to go see the Leaning Tower of Pisa, I think. I don't remember, something like that. But yeah, and we met this person from Taiwan who was fascinated with my hair because they don't really have any blondes over there, like natural blonde. Well, this is kind of dyed now, but like at the time I was very, very blonde naturally.
Like
and
blonde.
The way they tell all the jokes, blonde jokes. Anyway, but yeah, it was interesting. Like this person like emailed me forever because he was just fascinated with my hair. It was a little weird.
I don't know why, and I'm a little concerned that he would want like pieces of your hair, and it turns kind of into a darker story at that point. There's a whole black market, Jen. It tastes good. It smells good. Anyway.
Anybody wants to pay me $1,000 for some of my hair? I'd be about it.
I'd grow it faster, Jen. just turn your head into like that spaghetti thing with some Play-Doh. Just
Give you two pictures
but
of
yeah, I
my-
got to imagine going through Italy on a train. You see all those amazing landmarks. It makes me wonder too in the country like that, especially like the bigger cities like Rome and Venice and Florence. Like, how do you go about? I guess like how do you go about zoning and building new things when
Oh,
you've got like the Colosseum is taking up a huge chunk, and the other all the Roman stuff is like for thousands of years they're not going to just get rid of that stuff. So I guess you just have to what build on the outskirts, or is it kind of like some of our cities where there's like Old Town?
oh yeah, it's like our cities. There's like whole sides of mountains that like are or hills or whatever that like it's like the Colosseum would be in the heart of Akron, and then there's like whole towns all the way as far as Mansfield. You know what I mean? Like there's like normal cities like that too. But when you get into like the heart of where all the history and the architecture and all that kind of stuff is, yeah, there's nothing new around those places. There's big a lot of those places are built with big open like concrete I don't want to say parking lots, but like paved ways because everybody walks there. Nobody like really
People are what we call they're healthy.
yeah, mostly. We took a taxi ride one time and it was the most terrifying experience of my life. There was like six of us crammed into this taxi, and he's doing like 60 miles an hour, and I swear like the lanes are this big. Like here's the car, and like here are motorcycles, right? Like here's the lane, and then here's where motorcycles. He's like this far away from motorcycles, like in driving 60 miles an hour, and he runs through a stop sign, and everybody in the car screams. And while he's still doing 60 miles an hour in these alleyways, he's got like his hand on the wheel, and he totally does this. No worries, no worries. And we're like, look at the road, and he's
You're
like,
like,
he's like street signs are nearly suggestions in our country, and we're like, just look at the road. Like literally turned all the way around, was still doing 60 miles an hour and not looking at the road at all.
meanwhile, you guys are on the back of the seats like this.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know, I laughed. I thought it was funny. Like everybody else in the car were freaking out for their lives, and I'm like, if I'm gonna die, might as well die happy. I don't know.
I never knew I was gonna die like this.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome. The last topic I kind of came up with, just because I've just been hearing things because I have a young daughter and I hear her friends and I hear other kids and stuff when I'm at the mall and everything talking about like TikTok, and I kind of feel like music in general, it's always built around like the 3-minute pop song, and then some people can work around that and make 6-minute songs, or there's progressive rock, classic music, whatever, you can do 20-minute songs. But I feel like there are even shorter songs and shorter songs and shorter and like shorter and like shorter, where it's like I feel like in the future all songs that are popular are going to be like just a combination of sound effects, like how fast you can layer like 7 or 8 sounds into like a screeching tire length of a sound effect. So maybe somebody will be singing like, and then you'll have like a skirt, and then like a blah, 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 but it'll all be like layered on top, like it's like an audio sandwich. Like that was just number 6 on the pop charts. If you can figure out what it is, you can name it. I mean, do you feel like that though? That like when we were younger, I guess, the average song. I mean, I feel like even when we were younger, they're like the rock songs actually kind of ballooned out to like 4.5, 5 minutes because we're from like the MTV era. And I think that now we're back to like 3-minute dance pop songs are the popular songs. But I mean, I just feel like this shortening and shortening and shortening and shortening of songs. Do you feel that too?
I don't know. Not really, because I don't listen to that kind of stuff. If it's only like a minute and a half long, it's not worth it. Like, so I don't listen to it. I don't
I
know.
mean, there are some shorter songs I really like. Like there's a White Stripes song called "Fell in Love with a Girl," which is under 2 minutes. But it kind of repeats itself a little bit, so you wouldn't want it to go on too long. But just, I think we're in this era of the computer and the recording studio is like the instrumentation, because I am not a fan of autotune. And I feel like people abuse the fuck out of autotune. Like if you're a rapper and then you're trying to sing a chorus and you're not a singer, I guess that's fine. But if you're somebody who just puts it on there just as like a gimmick and you don't need it, I mean, wasn't there a Cher song from like 20 years ago where she did that? The Believe song. I don't know if that was auto-tune. It was something like that.
They electronically manipulate your voice.
Yeah, and you're like, why? I mean, the song didn't need that. And if you're somebody who can freaking like belt it out, like Mariah Carey or Ariana Grande or some of these people that are just born with these incredible voices, like I'll be really disappointed if I hear the new Adele music that's coming out soon and she does that, because it's like she would only really need to do that as a gimmick because her voice is so great. I don't know if you saw her when she hosted SNL last year, where she couldn't put out her album, so she just hosted the show as an actress. And she's like, "This is how I really talk, okay?" And so she sounded like a chimney sweep from Mary Poppins. And she's like, "Here's a clip of me in concert," and it just shows her in concert. And they just had people like this, and they had to bleep out every other word she said because she has such a potty mouth. And she's like, "Well, you can all just bleep, and I think bleep, and I bleep, 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 bleep." And she's like, "I love you." And then she would sing like this gorgeous ballad, and then she was just like, "Oh, well, I think my twat's a little bit itchy, all right. Okay, okay, love, okay, okay." And everybody was just like, "What do we do?" So, yeah, I don't know. That's pretty much all I had this week. And you do seem healthy and not drooling on yourself, and less lethargic. And there's a slimming down of the cheeks. What did you say? You just whispered.
It makes a difference if I'm not numb up to my eyeballs.
I thought you said something else, and I'm glad it's not what I thought you said. That would have been horrible. I thought you were mouthing the words like, "I'm on my period and I'm going to kill you."
No, none of that's true.
Okay. Well, good. It'd be really difficult from. What's this cup say? Akron General New Life Center.
This is not where I work, by the way.
You don't work at the Footprints place?
No, that's what I got when my baby was born.
Oh, nice. Nice.
When she was born, yeah.
Take a cup. Everyone gets one. Exit through the gift shop.
No, yeah.
You got anything else to add before we call this one? It's
no.
I mean, we're recording this at the beginning of October, and it's not going to be up online for like 3 or 4 weeks. It's a good problem to have. We got a backlog, so I'm just curious what people are going to think about this Scardouche one. We will know by the time this one airs what they think about it. All right, well.
No.
Crazy. All right, well, thank you so much. And I'm glad you're not drinking something, so I don't make a funny face or a funny noise.
Spit it all over my computer. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you for Nick for all the funny back and forth walking through with the dancing knitted tooth or whatever that was.
I think her hat, one of her little hats.
We'll just call that bonus material.
Yeah. He goes, "Is it going to matter if I'm walking back and forth?" I said, "Shouldn't, probably. You're not going to really be on screen." And then I didn't expect him to do that.
It would have been awesome if at one point he would have just been like in the background and then been like, "Magic Man." So go away. We don't care on this show. Everything goes. Everything goes. All right. Well, you have a great weekend, and I will catch up with you later.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Who's the idiot now?